by Swami Vivekananda. Chapter 2, The Real Nature of Man, delivered and learned. Great is the tenacity with which man clings to the senses, yet, however substantial he may think the external world in which he lives and moves, there comes a time in the lives of individuals and of races when involuntarily they ask, "Is this real?" to the person who never finds a moment to question the credentials of his senses, because every moment is occupied with some sort of sense enjoyment. Even to him death comes, and he also is compelled to ask, "Is this real?" Religion begins with the question and ends with its answer. Even in the remote past, when recorded history cannot help us in the mysterious light of mythology, back in the dim twilight of civilization, we find the same question was asked. What becomes of this? What is real? One of the most poetical of the Upanishads, the Katha Upanishad, begins with the inquiry: when a man dies, there is a dispute. One party declares that he has gone forever, the other insists that he is still living. Which is true? Various answers have been given. The whole sphere of metaphysics, philosophy, and religion is really filled with various answers to this question. At the same time, attempts have been made to suppress it, to put a stop to the unrest of man, which asks what is beyond, what is real. But so long as there remains, all these attempts at suppression will always prove to be unsuccessful. We may talk about seeing nothing beyond and keeping all our hopes and aspirations confined to the present moment, and struggle hard not to think of anything beyond the world of senses, and perhaps everything outside helps to keep us limited within its narrow bounds. The whole world may combine to prevent us from broadening out beyond the present. Yet, so long as there is death, the question must come again and again: is death the end of all these things to which we are clinging, and as if they were the most real of all realities, the most substantial of all substances? The world vanishes in a moment and is gone. The world vanishes in a moment and is gone, standing on the brink of a precipice beyond which is the infinite yawning chasm. Every mind, however hardened, is bound to recall and ask, "Is this real?" The hopes of a lifetime, built up little by little with all the energies of a great mind, vanish in a second. Are they real? This question must be answered. Time never lessens its power. On the other hand, it adds strength to it. Then there is the desire to be happy. We run after everything to make ourselves happy. We pursue our mad career in the external world of senses. If you ask the young man with whom life is successful, he will declare that it is real, and he really thinks so. Perhaps when the same man grows old and finds fortune ever eluding him, he will then declare that it is fate. He finds at last that his desires cannot be fulfilled. Wherever he goes, there is an adamantine wall beyond which he cannot pass. Every sense activity results in a reaction. Everything is evanescent: enjoyment, misery, luxury, wealth, power, and poverty. Even life itself are all evanescent. Two positions remain to mankind. One is to believe with the nihilists that all is nothing, that we know nothing, that we can never know nothing, either about the future, the past, or even the present. For we must remember that he who denies the past and the future wants to stick to the present is simply a madman. One may as well deny the father and motherness of the child. It would be equally logical to deny the past and future. The present must inevitably be denied also. This is one position, that of the nihilist. I have never seen a man who could really become nihilist for 1 minute. It is very easy to talk. Then there is the other position, to seek for an explanation, to seek for the real, to discover in the midst of this eternally changing and evanescent whatever is real. In this body, which is an aggregate of molecules of matter, is there anything which is real? This has been the search throughout the history of the human mind. In the very oldest times, we often find glimpses of light coming into man's mind. We find man even then going to a step beyond this body, finding something which is not this external body, all the very much like it, much more complete, much more perfect, and which remains even with his body is dissolved. To read in hymns of the Rig Veda, address to the god of fire who is burning a dead body: carry him of fire in your arms gently, give him a perfect body, a bright body, carry him where the fathers live, where there is no more sorrow, where there is no more death. The same idea you will find present in every religion. And we get another idea with it. It is a significant fact that all religions, without one exception, hold that man is a degeneration of what he was. Whether they clothe this in mythological words, or in the clear language of philosophy, or in the beautiful expressions of poetry. This is the one fact that comes out of every scripture and of every mythology, that the man that is a degeneration of what he was. This is the kernel of truth within the story of Adam's fall in the Jewish scripture. This is again and again repeated in the scriptures of the Hindu. The dream of a period which they call the age of truth, when no man died unless he wished to die, when he could keep his body as long as he liked, and his mind was pure and strong, there was no evil and no misery, and the present age is a corruption of the state of perfection. And the present age is a corruption of the state of perfection. Side by side with this, we find the story of the deluge everywhere. The story serves as a proof that this present age is held to be a corruption of a former age by every religion. It went on becoming more and more corrupt until the deluge swept away a large portion of mankind, and again the ascending series began. It is going up slowly again to reach once more that early state of purity. You are all aware of the story of the deluge in the Old Testament. The same story occurred among the ancient Babylonians, the Egyptians, the Chinese, and the Hindus. Manu, a great ancient sage, was praying on the bank of the Ganga when a little minnow came to him for protection, and he put it into a pot of water he had before him. "What do you want?" asked Manu. The little minnow declared he was pursued by a bigger fish and wanted protection. Manu carried the little fish to his home, and in the morning he had become as big as the pot and said, "I cannot live in this pot any longer." Manu put him in a tank, and the next day he was as big as the tank and declared he could not live there any more, so Manu had to take him into a river. And in the morning the fish filled the river. The Manu put him in the ocean and declared, "Manu, I am the creator of the universe. I have taken this form to come and warn you that I will deluge the world. You build an ark, and in it put a pair of every kind of animal, and let a family enter the ark, and they will eject out of the water my horn. Fasten the ark to it, and when the deluge subsides, come out and people of the earth." So the world was deluged, and Manu saved his own family and two of every kind of animal and seeds of every plant. When the deluge subsided, he came and peopled the world, and we are all called man because we are the progeny of Manu. Now, human language is the attempt to express the truth that is within. I am fully persuaded that a baby whose language consists of unintelligible sounds is attempting to express the highest philosophy. Only the baby has not the organs to express it, nor the means. The difference between the language of the highest philosophers and the utterances of babies is one of degree and not of kind. What you call the most correct systematic mathematical language of the present time, the hazy mystical mythological language of the ancients, differ only in degree. All of them have a grand idea behind, which is as it was struggling to express itself. And often behind these ancient mythologies are nuggets of truth. And often, I am sorry to say, behind the fine polished phrases of the moderns is errant trash. So we need not throw a thing overboard because it is cloth and mythology. Because it does not fit in with the notions of Mr. So and so or Mrs. So and so modern times. If people should laugh at religion, because most religions declare that men must believe in mythologies taught by such and such a prophet, that ought to laugh more at these moderns. In modern times, if a man quotes a Moses or a Buddha or a Christ, is laughed at. But let him give the name of a Huxley, a Tyndall, or a Darwin, and it is swallowed without salt. Huxley has said it, that is enough for many. We are free from superstitions. Indeed, that was a religious superstition, and this is a scientific superstition. Only in and through the superstition came life-giving ideas of spirituality. In and through this modern superstition come lust and greed. The superstition was worship of God, and the superstition is worship of filthy lucre of fame or power. That is the difference.